Hello, how are you? Well, the latter half of August now, and some of you might be worried that you haven't finished your summer activities, projects, or homework. Or are you afraid of going back to school without being prepared enough? Well, for me, my goodness, what have I been doing? Not really much. I wasted a lot of days, many hours, yet the summer hasn't uh, been over. So you still can make it up. That's what I'm going to do. However, today's idioms and words. The first one is to come about. It means to have a result. For example, how did the mistake come about? Well, I don't know. Or the flood, or I would say a number of floods came about as the result of the heavy raining for weeks in many parts of Earth last year, remember? Okay, second one is to build up. It means to increase or make stronger. For example, after a medical surgery, the patient usually needs to exercise to build up his or her strength. Believe me, I did that too many times. The second sentence is I built up my old English textbooks that I used in my classes I taught so that I could make my new textbook later. So that means those old textbooks were kind of materials or references for me to take some ideas from those books. Well, let's see if it would ever become the reality. The last sentence for this is, okay, attendance at the new dance show is so low that the producers and the promoters now will have to try to build it up by advertising heavily. Okay, the third idiom for today is to bring about. It means to cause to happen. It's close to something like a come about. Slight differences there. First sentence, the accident was brought about by a stupid driver who was, well, stupid enough to use his or her smartphone while driving it. Isn't that stupid? So don't do that. Sometimes also it happens by, well, the kind of accident is brought about by a pedestrian, which is a walker who was using smartphone while walking on the street. Also, that's stupid too, I think. I wish they would stop that because some people are not looking. And top of that, their ears are occupied because they are listening to music or whatever silly things while they are walking In the meantime, at the same time, they are also watching the screen of their smartphone. So that means audio and the visions, the two senses are preoccupied while they are doing another activity, which is walking on the street. And sometimes they bump into me, and there's no way for me to avoid that because they would come into me without looking at and without listening anything. Oh, those kind of people, they are the public hazard. They have no right to walk on the streets. Am I too harsh? Of course I am. Okay, the last idiom for today is, oh yes, of course, to bring about, that means to cause to happen, right? Okay, the similar sentence as the to come about. It's about flood. The first one was, do you remember the floods came about as the result of the heavy rains for weeks in many parts of Earth last year? I believe that would happen this year as well. And now this sentence to use to bring about the heavy rains brought about the floods. Yes. In the last sentence, what brought about Jenny's and my divorce? Oh gosh, that's years ago. But actually, I have ex-wife. So many people say one ex, right? Because I have one ex-spouse. Now I am, as you know, re-single. That means single again. Today's words. First one is tragedy. That means a very sad or terrible happening or sad play. For example, it was a tragedy that some pioneers destroyed the most of the native people's cultures in the American continent. Have you heard Maya, Aztec, oh my goodness, I forgot the third one. Inca, right. And as little as we know, they supposed to have really good developed systems in the nations, cultures, languages, building techniques, and etc. But we don't know what kind of language they spoke or what way, how they really lived. Why? Because newcomers to American continents destroyed completely almost with the guns and brutality. And top of that, their attitude that they truly believe they were better than those native people, which is not true that we know today. What do you think of the colonization? Okay, next sentence. If you had your choice between seeing a comedy or a tragedy, which movie would you choose? Now, another sentence. Ken's enormous jealousy led to the tragedy in the family. Sounds familiar? Sounds like a soap opera or television dramas, right? Okay, the second word is pedestrian. It means a person who goes on foot. Well, a walker, that's pedestrian. For example, after driving a taxi all day, my Uncle Bob liked to be a pedestrian for change and take long casual walks at night. Next sentence. The police say it is urgent that all pedestrians stay on the sidewalk or pavement. The last sentence for pedestrian. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that pedestrians can arrive at the firework festival site faster than or earlier than cars in the terrible traffic jams around that area. Isn't that true? The last word for today is glance. That means to look at quickly, a quick look. Like that. The observant driver glanced at the accident at the side of the street and chose to turn at the next crossing street to avoid traffic jams. And of course, police car would arrive, perhaps an ambulance might come. And many people start coming over, accumulated, and to take a look. So the driver could not stay there too long, did not want to get involved in all of that, right? Now, next sentence. I took one glance at the wretched, burnt house and turned away because it is a scary sight. The last sentence, okay, let's say, my aunt identified the burglar after a glance at the photograph in the police station. That happened. Well, that's all for today. Take care of yourself and continue to enjoy the summer. Bye for now.